Tiger down. The worst day of my life. It was September 12th, 2007, and I was hit by a car. I call this day the day that I learned to do a cartwheel. I didn't stick the landing, but I still got high marks because of the degree of difficulty. 2007 was a great year for riding. I had purchased my 2003 Tiger 955i new from the showroom floor at J+R Cycle in the spring of 2006. It was a warm spring and I rode to work every day in April and continued to commute all summer long on my beautiful Lucifer Orange cat. I had 25,000 kilometers on the odometer by Labor Day that year, and I wanted to ride right up until the snow flew. It was a rainy morning on September the 12th, but I managed to make it to work without getting wet. I had planned to work in the office for the morning and then head to an off-site meeting in the afternoon. Ironically, the meeting was a health, wellness, and extended health benefits seminar. I decided that I would head to the mall and grab lunch and to look for a birthday present for Tiger Barb before I headed to the seminar. My friend Rick walked out with me, and when he saw the dark clouds in the sky, he offered me his car. I thanked him, but I didn't want to come back to the office after my meeting, and I told him not to worry because I was waterproof. I pulled out of the parking lot, and I had just shifted into second gear when it happened. A car suddenly pulled out in front of me. I hit it, and I was catapulted 15 meters down the road. This was seriously bad luck. The good news is that I worked at a hospital. I slid to a stop on the curb at the feet of a nurse who was on her way to work. She immediately dropped to her knees and began to administer care to me. Meanwhile, the octogenarian driver of the car stomped on the accelerator pedal and drove across the street right into the hospital sign, and her car burst into flames. Then there was some good luck on our side, because an ambulance was leaving the hospital and the paramedics jumped from their rig and put the fire out. Across the road from the hospital, a second ambulance was leaving the Timmy's drive-thru and witnessed the whole incident. They drove to me and were helping my angel nurse within 90 seconds of the crash. The paramedic asked how I was doing, and between shrieks of pain and bouts of cursing, I told him that I felt a lump behind my right ear. It turns out it was my right foot. I was in agony. Then the paramedic asked me the strangest question ever. He asked, "Do you have a painful erection?" I told him that I wasn't in the mood. Nevertheless, he told me that he had to check anyway. I learned later that this is what happens when you break your back. Fortunately, that wasn't the case for me, and they loaded me into the ambulance for the 15-second ride to the emergency department. After a series of x-rays and CT scans, it was determined that nothing was broken. I had torn the muscles, tendons, and all the soft tissues in my right hip, and later I required surgery to repair a torn labrum. I also tore the ligaments in my right thumb, sprained my right wrist, and had a massively swollen right knee, and I was bruised all over. The emerged physicians were amazed that my knee was just bruised and credited the knee pads in my Joe Rocket riding pants. My gear all did their job protecting me. My helmet visor was broken and there was a 1/4-inch deep gash from the chin bar to the forehead of my helmet. My leather gloves were scratched and scuffed but intact and held together. What a great reminder to wear all of your gear all of the time. Later that afternoon, just before I was to be discharged, Rick came into my room and said, "You should have taken my car." A huge thanks to the first responders, the hospital staff, and to the hospital security team who coordinated the whole accident scene and took the pictures that you're seeing now. Go forth with an open mind and most importantly an open heart. And remember, self-care is not selfish.